Sleaze. Presented by McDonald's. Best part about working at McDonald's is the people.
Another creepy Diddy story. Former Playboy model claims that Diddy reportedly made her watch creepy videos of Jennifer Lopez. Her name is Rachel Kennedy. She met him 25 years ago in 2000 at a topless club in Tokyo.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. I realized before we even walked through the door that it was just him. He invited her back to his room for a party. No. It was just him. This is not a party. This is not the kind of party that we were all expecting. And then what did he do? He turned one of Jennifer Lopez's music videos on a continuous loop.
Why?
What? And then he was on the phone, apparently on the phone with her as well. I don't know. And then she said it was kind of odd watching this video on repeat. And then she said that they all got naked and things started to happen, and it wasn't forced, so apparently it was all consensual. But the weird story is that he made her watch Jennifer Lopez a video on repeat. Don't you think that's kind of creepy?
He wanted her to emulate J-Lo?
I don't know. Maybe it was so he could get in the mood. I have no idea.
Well, that's interesting that it worked. And she's saying that it was...
She said it was consensual.
Right. The first, I guess, positive story for... is that a positive story for Diddy? I don't know.
It's not a positive story for J-Lo.
No, that is not. But none are these days.
Jason Kelce was at Penn State over the weekend to tape ESPN's College Game Day. And as he was walking through a crowd to get to the set, somebody thought they would just provoke him by calling Travis a derogatory word. Well, he took to the kid's phone.
A cigarette in England. That's what he called them.
He smashed the phone on the ground. Then he picked it up and then looked to walk away. A kid's phone.
Some lessons here. This was crazy. And it shows you, A, you're stupid for screwing with a former NFL lineman, center. I mean, this guy is big and just finished playing. He's going to kick your ass if you're not careful. But did you really need to be what was the point? He's trying to get a reaction, but I think he got the reaction he wasn't expecting.
It just seemed uncharacteristic to me about him because he's always so playful that he would smash the phone. I don't know, just me.
Well, the dude was writing it. Listen to it. Here's the whole thing as it went down. At the very end, you'll hear what sounds like a click, but that is how hard he threw the phone down on the ground and all the noise around him. So pay attention what's happening here.
Kelce. Hey, Kelce. I feel your brothers Kelce, can I get a fist bump?
That click you heard was the phone, but
that was the phone.
Yeah, they're on him so close, and the minute that dude said that, he turned. You can see it from 50 different angles on TikTok. Man, he turns around, grabs that phone, and so all the dude gets out of it is $1,000 plus a bill to buy a new phone. I'll be curious to see if any charges are filed from the guy because it's on tape in so many directions.
Do you think this will hurt the General Mills Kelce mix that's out? It's a mixture of Reese's Puffs, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and Lucky Charms with the brothers on the cover.
Doubt it. He's gonna get some flack from the NFL because he's now working as not a commentator but a guy that's on those shows. He'll probably get a slap on the hand, but the guy, he deserved it.
Barnes, let me ask you this question because I don't know a lot about football, but also caught on tape. Spectators at that Gators-Bulldogs game over the weekend?
Yeah.
Is that a normal thing?
Well, I think that these cops were beating up two Florida fans. And beating up is not a crazy term to use because if you look at it, they're just wailing on these two people.
Caught on tape.
And these aren't like tough people. These aren't like people you look at. These are like people sitting in the audience that are like everyday average people. And they're just wailing on them. I think it's years of the abuse that Georgia and Florida fans have put on that community that these two sheriff office people, whoever they are, just finally had enough, and they just unloaded.
I was shocked watching, and you said, oh, yeah, those brawls happen all the time, but these cops are all over these guys.
They're all over it. And, I mean, Carson Beck, if he throws one more interception, every Georgia fan that I know is probably going to be on top of him like that. But he won the game. You have to give it to him. But, man, had Florida's quarterback not gone out, they were in a little bit of a fight.
Whew. Melissa Etheridge, she's wanted to perform in prisons since she was a child. She was inspired by, remember the Johnny Cash 1970 concert?
Yeah, of course.
You know, and she said she was around 9 years old when she saw newspaper accounts of that performance, and she had been discussing it all along. Well, her dream came true actually this year. She performed at the Topeka Correctional Facility in Kansas City. It's a women's prison. The concert was filmed for that 2-part Paramount Plus docuseries, Melissa Etheridge, I'm Not Broken. Here she is talking about it.
The beginning of this whole thing actually started with me wanting to do a concert at the prison. I grew up in Leavenworth, Kansas. And if you know anything about Leavenworth, it might be that we have a lot of prisons there, especially the big federal penitentiary and the big army prison. And when I was very young, Johnny Cash came to my town of Leavenworth. We didn't get to see him, but the prisoners did. It was a concert just for the prisoners. And I always had in my mind that, well, prisons must be a place of fine entertainment, and stuff, which wasn't true. It was just Johnny Cash. But as I got a little older, I would go into these prisons and I would perform different things with my high school, with some like musical groups around town and stuff. It was a thing we did, and it was always impressed upon me how appreciative they were. And it was one of the first times I could see people listen to music and be filled up and happy for a moment. And I always wanted to go back and do that.
I wonder if she played for Michael Vick. Was this recently? Because, you know, Vick was in Leavenworth for all the dog stuff.
I don't know. This was a women's prison where she performed, so.
Oh, a women's prison. Gotcha. Can you imagine growing up in a city like that?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I saw a couple of cool interviews with Lenny Kravitz recently. I didn't know he and Slash went back and they were in the same high school together. Did you?
No.
Yeah, they went to high school together, quote, but we hadn't seen each other since. And then he was talking about when he went to the American Music Awards. This was a long time ago. They were kind of sitting next to each other and they kept looking at each other. And it was finally like, oh, we know each other. But then in another interview, he said, Slash came up to me and said, man, I got laid to your records so much. And I said, dude, didn't we go to high school together? Anyway, random.
How did those two avoid not getting a band together with them? That would have been amazing.
I know that they've performed together, and I think Slash is on one of his songs, but yeah.
That would be cool.
How cool is that? Nicolas Cage has certainly had a resurgence. I mean, he seriously has. He had that kind of weird period of making terrible movies, and now it seems like he's back. But he's talking here about the 5 movies he had to make, the 5 movie scripts in his entire career that when he read, man, I had to be in this.
And in 45 years, I've only read 5 scripts where I said, this has to happen. It's very important. I have to make this movie. I know how to play this part. I have to do it. And the 5 scripts were Leaving Las Vegas, Raising Arizona, Vampire's Kiss, Adaptation, and Dream Scenario. Thank you, but there have been other movies that evolved. Like I was talking to Ari, said, what about Wild at Heart? Yeah, Wild at Heart was terrific, but it wasn't necessarily on the page. You see, what I'm trying to say is that Christopher's script was perfect when I got it. I didn't want to change a single thing. And I knew that when I met him, it was like, well, okay, he's half my age and twice as smart as me. I don't think I'm stupid, but here, buddy, here's the remote control. I'm the remote control car. You push the buttons, I'm going to go wherever you tell me, because this is your baby, this is your vision. And I did. It was perfect as soon as I got the script.
Have you seen a guy flirting with flatlining his career more than this guy? But he still rises up every time.
It's so crazy how he makes terrible movies and then he makes great ones.
I know.
That is your Celebrity Sleaze.